How about that? Just a nice, easy, smooth victory for the Chicago Bears against a team they were supposed to beat. 36-10 on just a gorgeous day in Chicago.
See, now that's two people that have said that, you and Tony Gill on supposed to beat. We're still, I don't think we've reached supposed to beat category yet. This is like a huge celebration. This is a breakout. I'm feeling a little bit more. Are you kidding me? 36-10, the Chicago Bears are blowing out teams out of nowhere. Caleb Williams, look at that smile. I see a smile over there.
I'm satisfied.
No, I think he's happier about going to France or something.
Yeah, he's ready.
I mean, I went from week one, like, just get in the end zone any way possible. I don't care if Will Levis literally hands you the ball and you walk into. Now they're on the goal line, and I'm like, give Caleb one more passing touchdown, please. Like, things are changing here all of a sudden from week 1 to week 5, and I'll take it.
I mean, there's just nothing to not celebrate today. The quarterback was great. The running back was great. The offensive line was a lot better. Coleman Shelton screaming at his quarterback. I love that. The defense. I mean, Jervon Dexter Sr., since when are you the greatest defensive player in the history of the game?
Sack leader by D tackles.
This is this is unbelievable.
I'll have to celebrate.
Yes, sir.
On.
And now,
Hoge, did you have some kind of prediction about the quarterback position? That was a certain something today.
Our pregame today was unbelievable.
Yeah.
What did you say pregame? What was that again?
I said 300 yards, at least 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. And I said, is that too much to ask to just have the number 1 overall pick deliver a game like that against the Carolina Panthers?
20 for 29, 304 yards, 2 touchdowns.
126 rating.
Passer rating 126, dancing all over the place, 34 yards rushing.
Yeah.
It
only took me 14 years to finally nail a pregame prediction.
Well, you crushed it today. And we all really did. It was.
Don't worry, Steven. It's only week 5.
Yeah.
We'll get there eventually.
It took week 5 for Caleb to throw for 300 yards, and it's going to take Mark Carman 10 weeks to throw it to Adam Hoge for the much anticipated instant reaction from our guy, Adam Hoge. Mark Carman, stop talking.
Just you stop talking.
I got to be honest with you. I need to go on a little rant here for a second. I can't wait. Let's go.
Yeah, I already touched on it a little bit, but in this league, Corey, you know this. It is there's what's on paper, and then there's what really happens on Sunday. So we talked about in the pregame, there's reasons why this was only a 4-point spread, and that's because regardless of what you see on paper with these two rosters, the reality is there's a trust issue to kind of get over the hump and be like, nah, the Bears can actually take care of business. Caleb Williams can actually deliver that 300-yard, 2-touchdown, no interception game. It should all happen, but the difference is going out there and doing it. And really, I don't want to quite say start to finish because the Bears did fall behind in this one. It wasn't the most beautiful start to the game, but really from that point on, this was a game. Bears finished on a 36-3 run to end the game. Interesting that they went for 2 at the end. We can probably discuss that at some point, but just there's something to be said for not looking ahead to London, for taking care of business against a team that you should be, and doing so in dominant fashion in the NFL. That does not always happen, and it definitely counts for something regardless of the opponent. So shout out to Matt Eberflus, shout out to Caleb Williams, shout out to Shane Waldren, shout out to the entire team for getting it done today. That is what real playoff caliber teams do on a Sunday like this. Yep. Great opportunity to go to London now and get to 4-2 going into the bye week, which everybody on this panel, everybody watching this show, everybody listening to this podcast would have taken 4-2 at the start of the season.
Caleb Williams, I just don't want to minimize this. He's had now two games over 300 yards.
Yep.
363 in a loss to the Colts, which was a rough day, throwing it 52 times. He threw it 29 times today. I think everybody likes that ratio. Completion percentage of 69. That's exciting. His highest quarterback rating, if you're into that.
Nice.
And 304 yards and a couple of touchdowns. And by the way, I think it's obvious when you watch him that he's still scratching the surface. I mean,
he missed a bunch of throws.
If you want to be picky, we were sitting there, that could have been intercepted. Why didn't he throw that stop route right there? Why don't there were plenty of those moments still in this game, and honestly, that's what's so exciting because that's a good point, Karm. He is just scratching the surface.
The most exciting part of it was we finally saw a game plan, right? Back-to-back weeks from Shane Waldren where they relied on the run game. There was balance in the attack. 31 rushes between Roschon Johnson, DeAndre Swift, 29 passing attempts. I like that matchup, and it sets up everything for Caleb, right? You take the pressure off him, and what was there in the passing game? There was rhythm. There was timing throws. It was a thing of beauty. He missed a couple here or there, but I loved how they were getting the ball out quick early on. Him and DJ Moore were on the same page. The crossing routes opening up DJ Moore early on, that great first touchdown. It was great to see Caleb be confident to get the ball out. Him and DJ Moore were on the same page because they always talked about, hey, DJ Moore isn't happy. There's whisperings that, he's maybe uncomfortable in the offense. It seemed like they were on the same page today.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, we as Bears fans, we don't know what to do with a day like today. We don't know if we should be talking a bunch of crap or if we should just sit back and enjoy it. And no fighting, Bears fans. No fighting, Bears fans. Just try to take this in, enjoy it for a minute. It's going to be a lot of fun to see what this team can do next week. Because guess what, ladies and gentlemen? You know how many times the Bears have won 3 games in a row in the Matt Eberflus era? That would be 0 times. So this is their opportunity to do something that's uncharted territory. Yeah, they didn't play with their food today. Today was a trap game by definition. They've beaten a good Rams team or a better Rams team than what they had played this week against the Panthers. You're looking ahead to London. Everybody's looking ahead to London. And the team they're leaving tomorrow to get out there. So for this team to not let a trap game become a trap game shows some maturity. Caleb Williams is showing maturity. How many times do you see now here in the last 2 weeks where he drops back and then takes the simple check down that turns into a first down? And like you said, they're just scratching the surface with this guy. His pocket movement, as Jeff Joniak called it over the summer, spatial awareness. You see these little moves. So, a few times everybody's like, just throw it away, just throw it away. We all are. But he makes these little moves and gets up the field and makes some nice runs, makes some nice moves in the pocket. Now they're starting to find, continuity and chemistry on the offensive line. The receivers are starting to get a little rhythm and timing with the quarterback. This is an exciting time for Bears fans. And if you look back to last year, they were 0-4 going into week 5. This year, they're 3-2 now after week 5. That 28-7 against the Broncos last year, it was 27-7 at halftime. They didn't let the team come back. So the defense is way ahead of where they were last year. This rookie quarterback has the potential to be every bit as good as anything we saw last year and potentially even better than that, for years to come. So it's just a totally different stratosphere of potential for this team, and I'm excited for what the future holds for the Chicago Bears.
Confidence building game. This was what it was. We talked about it on paper. Hey, how are they going to come out in this game? And, the Panthers aren't this or they're not that. But you still have to go out there and play. That's why they play the games on Sundays. And they executed, had a fast start. You talked about the stat before. How many first quarter scores have they had? 0.
Yep.
Right? First quarter touchdowns, 0. They got that today. They scored 3 points total in their first 4 games of the first quarter.
There's a million examples. Like bring up any concern we had in the first 3 weeks of the season. Bring up anyone.
Offensive line.
Better.
Way better.
Honestly, it's looked better since Matt Pryor.
DJ Moore and Caleb.
DJ Moore, they solved that. Running game. DeAndre Swift's been great the last couple
Balance.
Weeks. The play calling. I mean,
turnovers. Sacks.
Literally every concern they have. Now, again, you could be a hater and be like, oh, the opponents the last 2 weeks aren't great. Fine. It's still the NFL. Yep. And it's still progress. It's still confidence building, like you just said, Woot.
And I think the one nitpicking thing that I have is just the rush defense. We look at Hubbard today. He went off on him for 7.5, and early
38-yard touchdown.
Yeah, 38-yard touchdown. But I would like to see a little bit better there. If I'm nitpicking, we talked about that before in the pregame. Is a little bit of peekaboo here and there, especially with the defensive line. The linebackers are going to make you right. Play fast, attack your gap, and these talented linebacker core is going to make you right. So that's the only thing going forward that I want to see from these defensive linemen. Penetrate and attack, hit your gap. The linebackers will make you right.
You know what? I'm sorry. I got to lean in a little bit.
Go ahead. Keep going. Talk about it. Live your dream.
I wish I could still say the F word on this show.
I can't do it.
So freaking excited about Caleb Williams. I think it's okay to go there. I think it's okay to go there.
I got to tell everybody before you even go any further, this was by far, the happiest Hoge I've ever watched a game with. You were a happy Hoge. You were telling jokes. You were not worried about spreadsheets, except for a couple moments. You really were. You were in a whole other land
until DJ Moore dropped that one that would have put him over 300. He's like, "What the heck?"
I was mad at DJ Moore for 5 seconds.
When you talk to Cole Kmet on Tuesday, you tell him that I wasn't in a dark place at halftime, and I appreciate that. Because there's very few times that I get to sit back and relax.
Don't do that. This is about my mood, not your mood. This is about my mood.
All of us as Bears fans. How many times did we get to sit back, relax, and just enjoy a beatdown?
Go ahead and give let's hear your Caleb thoughts at this moment.
Look, I get the sort of nervousness the first few weeks that everybody wants instant gratification on. It's still playing the hardest position that exists in sports at the highest level, and I don't care who you are. You can't just go out there and dominate right away. What Jaden Daniels is doing in Washington, great. It's just so rare. Even C.J. Stroud last year the first couple weeks. C.J. Stroud last season was not what he did the rest of the season. And I think if you're paying close attention, even though it wasn't, perfect, Caleb was still doing this. Week 1 to week 2, week 2 to week 3. It was still getting slightly better, and you could just tell last week against the Rams, it was headed in the right direction. And then today really I said it in the pregame, if you got Caleb on your fantasy team, start him. Because this is the week that the numbers should come around. That's the point I made on the pregame. It's like, it shouldn't be too much to ask from this guy to actually get 300 yards today, not turn the ball over, and get some touchdowns. And honestly, should have been even better because they had some the rushing touchdown I gave you as the prop bet came off the board because of Karm's guy, Doug Kramer.
Okay.
That was the only moment where I wasn't happy.
I want to get to Doug Kramer, and I want to get to Bill Murray, who I'm seeing is getting a lot of love in the chat for stepping into Tevin, who left with an ankle injury. But I also want to underline that the roller coaster that is Bears football. The first play of the game today.
Yeah, I was mad.
Caleb tries to hit Keenan
almost
on an easy out. Nothing's going on. Misses him by 3 yards. Keenan with an unbelievable play to knock it away. And we're just looking at it like, oh, God, that felt like very eerily to the last couple of years where that should be an easy throw. And you're like literally wondering what's going on. And then 3 hours later, okay. Let's live this dream. So it was literally his one bad play of the day.
Yeah, and it was frustrating because that's your first play. You're running it all morning. You've repped it all week. You can't throw that one behind.
Well, and when you talk about why, I mean, look at the first 5 weeks. Every first series has not been great for the Bears. Every single one. I think I saw Kevin Fishbane chronicle them all. I mean, the only one that even almost was good was the missed field goal against the Texans. Everything else, 3 and outs, not good. And to me, that's just the signs of a young quarterback that has to settle into the game. And Hoge, you talk about why all of a sudden it's getting better. Why is Jaden Daniels doing things that are unprecedented in the first 5 weeks? Well, why is that? Yeah. It's not everything that Caleb Williams do. It's the run game too that complements you, complementary football. And Jaden Daniels has one of the best rushing, teams behind his back that's got his back, and now the Bears are starting to run the football here these last couple weeks, building some momentum, learning what they can do well, and that's what's helping Caleb Williams start to open some things up.
Hats off to Shane Waldren because he made adjustments. He didn't get into his head like, hey, I got to stick with what I do. hey, let's figure this out. Let's get the running game going. And what we've seen the past 2 weeks is a much different offense than we saw in the first couple weeks.
Real quickly, we gotta take a break. Can we get that big money super chat up before
money.
the break? Because this also brings out Happy Hoge. Doug Kramer carries Karm like a kangaroo baby. Greatest super chat name we've had thus far. And $200 on the super chat.
Let's go.
Says, yes, it's the Panthers. Yes, they were injured. Do I care? No. Bears win. Celebration. FGB. Let's go Rams. Caleb is him. Doug Kramer will eat your face off on the goal line. Punch him in the mouth. Football is a beautiful thing.
And Doug Kramer carries me, Karm, like a kangaroo baby. Don't even worry about that clip at the goal line, Doug Kramer. It's okay. You just wanted to...
They got in eventually, so.
Yeah. No, wasn't that where they got backed up and they kicked the field goal?
They kicked the field goal.
Yeah.
Oh, dang.
But, and Doug Kramer at that moment, it wasn't great. But you got over it, Doug. Don't worry about it.
All right. And we want to shout out our friends at Miller Lite as we get rolling here on CHGO Bears Postgame. A lot has changed over the years, including the Bears having a quarterback now. But one thing that has not changed, it's the great taste of Miller Lite. Another thing that has not changed is that it's less filling. So what is the best thing about the original light beer? Well, Miller Lite sparked this debate in 1975, and we still haven't settled it, to be honest with you. We know that Miller Lite has great taste, and we know that it's less filling. And every time that we enjoy our Miller Lite, whether it's during a Bears game or perhaps when we're going overseas in a couple days, we know we're going to make some amazing memories. Because Miller Lite keeps it simple, undebatable quality, great taste, only 96 calories. It's the beer that strips away everything you don't need and holds on to what matters most. A light beer that tastes like beer. It's less filling, only 96 calories, the original light beer since 1975. You don't have to choose what's best. Miller Lite has great taste and is less filling. Tastes like Miller time. To get Miller Lite delivered right to your door, visit MillerLite.com/CHGO football, or you can find it pretty much anywhere that sells beer. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories per 12 ounces. Fewer calories and carbs than premium regular beer.
Shout out to our friends at Circus Sportsbook. Great to see Jillian and Margaret at our tailgate this morning. It was an awesome tailgate. Come on out, hang with us the rest of the way here. Let's have some fun. Circus Sportsbook, whether it's pro or college, the app to bet, put football on, which I did today. Circus Sports Illinois. Thank you, DJ. More cash money. Circus Sports, it's sports betting the way it should be. Circus Sports Illinois has high betting limits, low holds, exceptional customer service. Bet on all your favorite teams in every game this season. Spreads, props, futures, in-game. Circus Sports has it. Fund and bet like a pro from anywhere, anytime in Illinois. Download your new bookie today at circasports.com. You'd have to be 21 or older. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. I think it is time, ladies and gentlemen, for us to take a look at the franchise, which we, obviously started talking about the start of the show. You can't do it too much here. There it is. There are the numbers. 20 for 29, 304 yards, 34 on the ground, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, passer rating 126.2, his best game as a pro so far.
I can get used to that franchise focus.
That would be nice, right?
We were talking about his running, and it's not Justin, it's not Lamar. But I think we came to a sort of a consensus that it's kind of Mahomes-like.
Faster Mahomes.
Because it's not running. It's mobility is what it's scrambling. It's still having your eyes downfield, trying desperately to complete the pass and not just, I'm tucking it and getting what I can get here. And that is the big difference.
Well, I mean, he's capable of having a big run. I mean, we saw those more than a few times in college.
He doesn't want to do that, though.
But when he's coming out of the pocket, defenses have to stay on their heels because of his threat to pass. And, even on that one where it was, 3rd and long, he's so slick. I mean, it was risky, but he was, trying to get the first down, and he knew that everybody was going to pull up on him. So he, tried to sneak his way into a 4th down. So in the Mahomes comparison of his style of running, it's that slickness, that little scamper that just gets by enough yards.
They should have had about 4 sacks on him that he eluded. The move he had on Jadeveon Clowney, I mean, it was like an N1 crossover when Jadeveon Clowney went forward.
Put him out of his shoes.
He did.
Allen Iverson
He did.
stuff.
He crossed him over, and it's unbelievable to see his mobility in the pocket. Why you said still keeping those eyes down the field. So it's refreshing to see. And what I saw from him today was just the confidence to keep the eyes down the field, to complete the ball, and especially get on the same page with his number one receiver, something that he struggled with so far.
And then you just talk about going through your progressions. The second DJ Moore touchdown, to look right. They're setting up like an action game where you have screen and then like the smoke and go, like see if they're going to come in. The safety rolls over, and now DJ Moore's one-on-one on the post. And him to go 1, 2, DJ Moore, your third progression, bang, dot, in the bucket. Like that's an unbelievable play for a rookie in his 5th game, and he's just playing at another level. And there were yards left on the field. I mean, at the end of the game, DJ Moore drops that pass. I mean, he gets over 300 yards, but there could have been even more. And then there was even some struggles in the second half of things they can clean up. So just a lot of great things to take from this.
I think everybody is hoping that he takes less hits. He's,
that's the one thing.
There were a couple moments today. Like, I love his willingness to try to get in the end zone, but when he got that first down inside the 5,
get out.
And you had another 4 downs to play with, not worth trying to go for the pylon and take a shot.
And there were a bunch of them. He really, I get it. He's trying to make plays out there. He's competitive as hell, and he wants to be as impactful as quick as possible, but it's also like, come get down, get out of harm's way, get rid of the ball. I mean, I think everyone's saying that a bunch. The other thing that I think everyone else was celebrating, at least I'm celebrating in this particular moment, is the connection with DJ Moore. That
was big today, man.
DJ's been, everyone's noticed the body language, whatnot. DJ Moore's body language today was excellent.
He's been unhappy. Like, there's no sugarcoating on that. Yeah. He's been unhappy.
Yeah, right.
Get him in space. That first touchdown was the easiest play they've had all year. He walks in essentially. I mean, we've been waiting for that. So, yeah, 2 touchdowns from number 2. Thank you, Panthers, for sending him along the way. Yeah. Talk about the Panthers and Bears trade. Looked pretty good today.
I think people jumped to conclusions so early. This was a rookie quarterback, and everyone said, he's the bust, he's this.
Oh, my God.
It's a couple weeks into the season, trying to get on the same page with everything. So it takes time. Rome wasn't built overnight, just like Caleb Williams, this offense. All we've seen is progression every week.
Well, like I told people, they beat the Panthers. They didn't play with their food. They should beat a team like this. But I'll say it, all the talk about Caleb Williams, like I was telling people, get it in now because your time's running out. Yeah. And today, clock ran out. There's still going to be ups and downs. There's going to be developmental curves and moments where he's not going to play perfect. But at the end of the day, all that garbage being talked here the first 4 weeks was people just trying to get their last-ditch I told you so efforts in before the hourglass and the sand completely ran out. The other thing I wanted to talk about real quick is the center quarterback communication. They've talked about that the last couple weeks, and it got caught on the mics, the hot mics for the television broadcast where Caleb Williams is calling a play at the line of scrimmage, and Coleman turns around and says, "Hey, it's fire, man. Hey, you got to be ready."
I got effing fire here.
Yeah. So
got it, I think.
So
it doesn't matter.
At the end of the day, whatever they were working out there, and who knows if they'll tell us what that was, and maybe that'll be asked during the week. But regardless, I just like the communication there. Don't be scared to say what needs to be said. Everybody's got their big boy pants on, and Coleman's speaking up, making sure his rookie quarterback's alerted of what's going on, and Caleb's like, I got it, says hike, hits Roma Dunze for a nice little quick out on a little, play action, RPO play.
Which, I mean, what I love about it is that okay, we're in the foxhole now, and we're getting comfortable. We're getting comfortable to scream at each other. By the way, I know you better now. I know that you're not seeing it, so I know I need to help you. All that's cool, which Briggs and Brown are coming up here. But before Briggs and I jump up, I just want to throw the question out there to you. How high is up for this team? 5 games in, 3-2, getting better seemingly every week. Defense is, little struggles with the run here, but Jaquan Brisker was all over the field today. They're getting to the quarterback. I mean, how high is up here, Hoge? How good can this team be? What are you looking at? What are we looking at here 5 games in?
I think playoffs are on the table. I mean, I think that's how you got to look at this through 5 games. If you're able to go 3-2 over your next 5, you're 6-4.
Schedule gets real hard to back.
The schedule gets really tough, but you are definitely in the hunt at that point, without a doubt. So if you could pull off 4-1 over the next 5, would be great. Now my eyes have been so set on London bye week, Washington, that I'm actually off the top of my head forgetting
Arizona.
So they go back-to-back road games?
Yes.
It's Jags, then bye week, then Commanders, Cardinals, Patriots.
And then New England at home.
So they need to go 3-1 over the next 4 games and get themselves to 6-2, right? Am I doing the math right here? 3-1 over the next.
Sorry, rewind. The next 4 games are Jags in London, Commanders on the road, Cardinals on the road, Patriots at home. And who's after that then?
Packers.
Then it starts.
So let's focus on the next 4.
That's what I'm saying. They need to go 3-1 over the next 4, get to 6-2 or 6-3.
Yep.
Thank you. And then you simply have to go 4-4 over your last 8 games, which includes 2 against the Lions, 2 against the Packers, 2 against the Vikings, and then the Niners and Seahawks.
And if they can somehow get hot and really get hot and get better each week, and you win the next 4, well, now you're 7-2 going into the gauntlet. But the gauntlet is real. Green Bay, Minnesota at home, at Detroit, Thanksgiving, quick turnaround, at San Francisco. I know everybody can see the schedule, but I just want to remind people of it. At San Francisco, at Minnesota,
right?
Detroit, home.
The gauntlet is real.
It's tough.
The gauntlet is real in the second half of the season, but if the offense gets better every week, then this team is for real because this defense is for real.
Right.
This special teams is for real. And if Caleb Williams is for real, and all of a sudden this offense becomes for real, then the NFC has some real problems for real.
You know, one thing I'll be interested in, at a minimum, the Bears are raising their profile here in a game like this because, like, this was not the most exciting game of the day. You're playing the Panthers at home in the noon window, but now you get to go to London. You'll be featured there, and then there's a bye before what's setting up to be a pretty awesome game.
Yep.
Against the Commanders, where you got the top 2 picks with 2 teams. I mean, the Commanders won again today. They're 4-1. I would almost bet on that game getting flexed to the late afternoon window if that's the scenario that we're talking about.
Cowboys Niners for the Sunday night game.
So I don't think it goes Sunday night, but CBS has the afternoon game that day, and the Bears Commanders game is already on CBS at noon. So right now what's in there is Eagles Bengals. Did the Bengals lose again today? I didn't even see the final score on that.
It was 38 apiece when I just looked a second ago. Okay, never mind.
So I would look at those and be like, let's get Caleb versus Jaden Daniels in that late afternoon window. And now you're talking. That's the high. People don't realize that's actually the highest rated window of every weekend is actually the late afternoon window. It's not prime time. So you're just raising the profile of your team a little bit here. You're getting out of the, the Bears took the wrong quarterback type of conversation. That's going to slow down here, thank God. And this is just a good place to be in after 5 weeks. I mean, I think most people would have taken this.
Celebrate both quarterbacks.
Right, which would be great.
Seems like both teams are.
And by the way, celebrate Justin Fields in Pittsburgh at the same time. Yep. That's okay.
Yep.
That's helping the Bears get a 4th round pick.
He's playing well.
You can draft another punter.
And for the record, Caleb played better than Jaden played today. Jaden's numbers, I mean, I didn't watch the game, so I don't really know, but numbers-wise, he was 14-25, 238 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He did run for 82 yards on 11 carries, but Caleb outplayed him today, if we really want to get into that conversation.
Steven, what do we got on our next Big Money Super Chat? And we got to hit another break here in a second, and I've seen some big ones come in. All Super Chats get on the screen during the show. We take the biggest ones, highest amounts throughout the show, and then we'll finish off with as many as we possibly can. Carrie Huss.
Huss. You're feeling good about yourself. You're a Huss. 3-2 Huss.
That song gets better every week.
He's feeling good about himself
$100 from Carey. Great
Huss.
game. Caleb is getting it, but more importantly, how close was Karm burned after Torrey's punt inside the 5 and then almost a safety? Bear down from Colorado. Yeah, Carey, there was some yelling. I might have gotten in the Karm's face a little bit in the moment.
I got one friend at CHGO, and his name is Alex Brown.
Oh, I thought you were just going to stop after I have one friend.
Yeah. I was surprised at the one.
I mean,
I don't know if AB is your friend. I think he just tolerates you.
Yeah, that's probably true. All right, I have no friends, but I have a tolerating AB who can take the Torrey Taylor heat with me.
Before we go,
good for Torrey.
Before we go, wrapping up this franchise focus conversation, Bill Zimmerman bringing up some stats. Stats can be fun. Caleb Williams has thrown for 1,091 yards in 5 games. He passes Zeke Bratkowski for the 6th most passing yards as a rookie in Chicago Bears history.
Bratkowski
for a whole season, and he did it in 5 games. Caleb Williams is on pace for 3,709 passing yards on the season. That would be the 3rd most in Bears history.
All right, that's awesome by Bill. Good job. Take that, Bratkowski. Briggs and Brown are coming up in a second, but first, just you relax over there. Let me do what I do. Empire Today is here for you. The greatest shop-at-home convenience that you need in your flooring life. It's the right product for your needs. Quick and professional installation. The low price guarantee. Empire Today is the place to get your new flooring. So, of course, they've got copycats out there, but Empire's not going to be beaten on quality. They're not going to be beaten on service, speed. So they can give you all the low prices out there. Empire does not carry the lowest products that others do. So you want the good stuff. You want to go with Empire. What you want to do is schedule a free in-home estimate today. All listeners, you get $350 off. That's the discount when you use the promo code CHGO. Restrictions apply. See empiretoday.com/CHGO for details. Convenient shop-at-home service. They help customers shop for floors where they use their floors so they can see exactly what the new floors will look like in their home. It is sweet. Hit them up. empiretoday.com/CHGO for details.
Line change.
Line change.
In the meantime, let me tell you about my favorite place to go when I need tickets, want to sell tickets, anything that has to do with tickets. I go to Game Time because Game Time has a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets for your favorite live events even easier. Game Time Picks filters out all the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. I did this earlier this week, actually. The Mets were in the 9th inning, and I said, you know what? I think I want to go to Game 3. I used Game Time Picks to find the best seats right there, and again, guess what? Turned out I couldn't go to the game. So what did I do? I went right back to Game Time, and I sold them, and actually made a little money there in the process. That's why I go to Game Time, because Game Time shows you all-in pricing. They'll show you the total up front, so you don't have any surprise fees at checkout. They'll show you your views from your seats, low price guarantee. It's all included with Game Time. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app. Create an account. Use code CHGO for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account. Redeem code CHGO for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it?
Game time?
That's right. It is time for our Players Only segment. As Alex Brown, Lance Briggs in the house with Corey Wootton. Guys, I don't even feel like I have to ask you a question. Quarterback.
Phenomenal.
Go ahead, AB.
I mean, it's just another day. You know what I mean? With this kind of day I've been expecting. You know, that's what it is. When we drafted a guy like that, you know it's coming. It's just a matter of time. I mean, we haven't given him 4 years to do this. It's his 5th game. Okay, he's just getting better and better and better every week. I love to see it. I cannot wait to see how he is mid-year, end of the year, going into next year. I mean, it's just going to keep getting better. So I'm super excited about it. It's a great win against a team.
Yeah, right.
You know?
Yeah.
But you want to go out and whoop them, because if you go out and you win a game, 3 points, you have to kick a late field goal to beat them, well, then everybody's talking shit about you, you know? So, yeah. What do you want?
Adam, that's what we call that true love right there. You know love where you can't do no wrong.
I didn't say that. Well, what did he do wrong? What did he do wrong?
This is one of the worst defenses in the NFL. All right, they had 12 guys that didn't even practice yesterday. All right,
So
they're decimated.
So
Okay, they're decimated, and we did what we were supposed to do. We did exactly what we were supposed to do. We were supposed to beat them by a large margin. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that everything that we did was great because it wasn't. Okay, he still held the ball longer than he should have. Hey, there were opportunities there. I'm just going to put it out there.
I cannot wait for the professor's sake. I can't wait till we get because he's gonna give all A's on that, but he gonna talk trash right now.
Just listen, it is what it is. I'm just saying I'm calling it as it is. Okay, this team in particular, we should have steamrolled.
Hey, there's good news, AB. Sorry to interrupt you, Lance. Apparently your microphone isn't working, so no one even heard that.
You know what?
I think it might have come unplugged. I think it might have come unplugged.
Y'all ain't missing that. Don't worry about it. Y'all ain't missing nothing. Hey, that's exactly how his mic need to be.
They try to mute you, man.
That's just me, man. I'm just loud, man. I'm just loud.
So it's censorship.
Yeah, Lance, y'all ain't missing nothing. He wasn't talking about nothing. Yeah, he wasn't talking about nothing.
Oh well, we'll try to get that fixed. Woot said this earlier though, that, and you could go ahead, Woot. I mean, like, regardless of what the opponent was, it's still like a confidence boost.
100% as far as confidence building for him, getting in the rhythm and timing of throws. Was everything perfect? No, right? He missed some throws early on, especially with the one to Keenan Allen, a couple other throws, held on the ball a little too long. But what I saw was the rhythm and timing for majority of these routes and throws was something that we hadn't seen before. And that's where you see him get confident. And they finally ran the ball again for a second straight time, right? Because the run, what does it do? It sets up the pass.
Woo, can I say this? Can I ask you this question? No, let me answer this question. Because we get everybody at home starting to thinking, well, he's holding the ball too long. He's holding the ball too long. We don't see the end zone copy. So we don't know if the receivers are open or not. So you just wanted to throw it?
There were a couple times, Hoge, when we were watching it, we could see there was visibly receivers open.
There were visibly receivers open.
Stop it. You stop.
No.
He don't.
No, there was one play.
He don't need anybody else on the way. He's good. No, I'm just saying, like, every time he holds the ball and he scrambles or he gets sacked.
But there were a few times.
But to be honest, that's part of why I'm excited, because he's still learning on the job. He could still be better than he was today, and he threw for 300 yards.
Absolutely.
Did not turn the ball over.
And Lance still don't like
it. And had 2 touchdowns.
Lance still don't like it. No, but I'll tell you what, this has nothing to do with that, but I'm a Swiftie who's not a Swiftie right now.
We ain't talking about him.
This week because
See what I just said? We don't like it. He wanna change and not talk about Caleb to talk about Swiftie.
We focused on Swiftie, all right? And in my opinion, he created for everybody else.
The offensive line.
Right.
The offensive line.
Absolutely.
The offensive line did help.
Absolutely.
I thought,
but that's true.
But when you're playing teams, remember how I talked about when we played 2012, the San Francisco 49ers?
Yes.
They beat the brakes off us. Why? Because they controlled the line of scrimmage, right? They got the run game going, and it was tough.
Yeah,
right?
pure dog.
We're looking at each
Coming
other
downhill.
like, what the heck is going on?
Yeah. Wham here, wham there, counter, downhill.
Exactly.
And with Frank Gore.
When you get the running game going, what does it do? You don't know what they're going to do, right? It keeps you on your heels. So then you're not as good in pass coverage and whatnot. So
it sets everything up.
Correct.
It sets everything up.
So you can't take anything away from Caleb. I thought he had a strong performance, right? Panthers, were they the best team in the world? No. But it's a confidence-building game.
I mean, they did beat the Raiders.
I think the one thing was Shane Waldren.
A little worse.
The first couple of weeks, he really wasn't running the ball. And you're like, you have a struggling offensive line. You got a quarterback that's kind of struggling. Why would you not run the ball? And then all of a sudden, these past 2 weeks, what have we seen? A better performance from Caleb. There's a correlation from the running game to him playing well. And that's not taking anything away from him. It's just how football works, right?
And it's also the way that they're running the ball, too. You know what I mean? Like the way that they ran the ball in the first 2 weeks, you couldn't have done that. Like, I'm not saying you couldn't have done it today and not been successful, but you can't consistently do that. We've seen that over the last 3-4 years. The way that they ran the ball and stuck to the ball, like downhill running game, was impressive to me, and that's something that we haven't seen consistently from our Bears.
I think it's the execution. I like the execution of it. Waldren, I mean, I think he's changed a little bit, but not. He ain't changed his stripes. You know, he is who he is. But the players go out on the field and they execute these run plays because Swift was nothing even close to what we've seen the last 2 games early on in the season. It wasn't even close. And you're calling, like you got the same guy calling the plays. It's not like you changed that, where on the other side, like you saw Carolina, they couldn't score. You put another guy in there, now they're scoring 30 points a game, right? The last 2 games. So they didn't change Waldren. He's still the same place.
But you saw this from Swift at Philly. You saw this from Swift before he got here. That's how he got the $8 million.
Why? No, but during that time, Philly had the top offensive line, and they blocked. They executed. We executed better the last 2 games. That's why I think you see.
It was also
Swift
a run game
games.
it was a run game that suited him too, to give him opportunities.
I also think
you're saying the same thing I'm saying.
I'll be a Swiftie with you for a second, Lance, because I think he stepped up his game too. I think even he would tell you that offensive line play calling, whatever. I don't think he played that well too the first couple of weeks. Like
right.
he wasn't making the right reads. He wasn't picking up his feet on a couple. And I'll tell you, because it wasn't just the running today. Did you notice his pass pro on that first touchdown throw to DJ Moore? He picked up that blitz.
He picked up a great
honestly,
job.
he did it again later on a play they called holding on him, which I thought was a BS call. Like that was just he just kind of got run over, but took it and bought the time for Caleb to complete the pass.
Last week he ran a split zone, and the blocking was immaculate up front. However, one of the D tackles had fell into the hole. The ability that Swift had, he jumped over this guy, leaped over him, and then took off after that. That's the player that we signed, the player that can hit the home run. He's a complete back. You know, I don't think, and what we said a lot of times, we're like, hey, I don't think he's a guy that runs as well in between the tackles. I think he's an all-around back.
He's an all-around back. I still don't want him blocking. 2-3 games ago, we had him blocking in front of DJ, and we hated it. So I still hate that. I still hate him blocking. He is a dynamic player out of the backfield. Yep. He's a dynamic player, and he's shown that the last 2 games. I just don't want you to sit up here and act like he's a great blocker now. Don't do that. Don't do that. Where 2 games ago we were killing him because why would you put that guy in there to block? Why would you put Carter to block the defensive end? Like, okay, he picked up a block. Okay, let's calm down a little bit. Like, okay, he picked up a block. All right, he picked up a block. That's it.
But don't you agree from the running game perspective? The last 2 weeks we've seen a lot more in between the tackle runs.
100%.
And I think that's what softens up the defenses, right? When you try to get too much stretch early on, it's this war of attrition. You wear down the opposing defensive line, the linebacking core, and all of a sudden it opens everything up. And that's what we've seen in the last 2 weeks.
While you guys are up here, I want to ask you defensive guys, though. I can't be that mad. They gave up 10 points, whatever. Are you guys concerned about the running defense at all?
No. That you see, what I saw today was I saw us get gashed. All right, we got gashed on a play. That happens. All right, it happens. We know exactly what happened. As soon as I saw the replay, I said there was a D tackle that didn't get across, didn't make that tackle. It is a
Of course, it was
If it was a linebacker, Alex would have been the first to respond and said the linebacker did not get in there.
It was a block back.
Right,
and he's got to cross the face.
He's got to cross the face. He's got to cross the face and make that. You know, but that is so. It's such an easy fix for everybody. I'll just let you guys know. Like it's first it starts with accountability. So when you get on that play, everybody's going to ask. We already know the answer. Hey, and the smart ones jump in front of it. That was me, fellas. That was me.
You come off the sideline doing this.
Yeah, that was me. All right. Well, don't let it be you. All right.
Don't let it happen twice.
Right. And they sealed that up moving forward. It wasn't a problem. You all right? Gashes do happen. They get paid too. They have good players as well.
And you didn't see them. You didn't see them wait to halftime to make that change. You saw that play happen. The Carolina Panthers came back out the next series that they had, tried to run that, it didn't work. All right, and for the rest of the game, they kind of shut that down because it wasn't one of those. We've seen this team adjust at halftime, but being able to adjust within the first quarter, within the second quarter, that's when you're taking that next level or that next step. I thought they did that today.
And they fight too. You know, I'm watching on a play that I think Jaquan was grabbing a guy, might even be one of the linebackers, and Kyler Gordon comes in, and they're about 2 yards from the first down, and he's just pulling them back away.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's understanding. To me, that's when you guys are at your best, is when you guys really, when the 11 guys understand where the down and distance is, and they care about every yard. You're fighting for every blade of grass now.
I'm gonna say this to everybody that thought I was crazy when I said that Brisker is a lot like Mike Brown. I don't think that boy give a damn about his body.
No.
Not a little bit.
I actually wish he did care more.
I think he was out cold. I think he was out cold on that play.
No, ain't no thing.
He was 100%.
He was.
Right?
Oh, he was a little woozy.
He was
a little woozy. And
then hit the ground.
Then his boys came over and they kind of walked him away from there.
He was out.
Oh, he was out. Oh, yeah. I can't wait to see.
There's unspoken protocol for that type of stuff, guys. All right. I don't know how deep we're going to get into that, but
can't do that.
I thought for sure he was going to end up in that tent.
That hit he put on him.
I did too.
Oh my gosh, he punished that. Then that's a takeaway. And I'm a nitpick a little bit, but when he give the grades, there's only one thing that's for me, and that's the rushing. What you were talking about.
Yeah,
we got to shore that up because this isn't a running team. Like this isn't a good running team, I should say. When you meet those teams that are good at it, you're gonna have an issue.
I'm overall pretty happy with the pass rush so far. I mean, for the amount of time we spent in the preseason and in the summer saying, "Oh, they got to add another pass rusher." Dexter's coming on. Billings has been great, and then Taylor's getting enough of a changeup coming from the opposite side between Darrell Taylor and Austin Booker, who also had a sack late in the game.
He did.
It's enough right now.
Adam, do you realize that right now in the NFC North, there's alone the defenses in the NFC North are responsible for 37 takeaways?
That's because the Vikings are way up there too.
It's
take the ball away, man.
Where the best defense that's been playing in the league is in the North right now.
But then everybody over 500.
It's going to be a battle.
And
all the
Minnesota's
divisional
undefeated.
games for the Bears are in the second half of the season.
Absolutely.
It's going to be crazy.
That's why right now
matters.
this is so critical.
Yes.
That we not only win, but our confidence go up.
Right.
Because when you see those teams, Minnesota and Darnold, their confidence is on Scott on 10.
Detroit
got a swag about
18
them.
out of 18.
Come on.
Yeah, and Green Bay already think they own us. So hell, we better be ready to go. Shit, we better be ready to go.
Packers up 7-0, by the way.
When it comes down to the way the defense is playing, the offense just has to be able to run the ball, have Caleb just limit his turnovers, stretch the ball down the field when they need to. With this defense, they can win games with this. That's all they have to do.
Take what the defense is giving you. Take what the defense is giving you, and that allows you to use all the weapons that you have. In a sense where you look at let's say the Patriots. You know, one of the toughest things about playing the Patriots back when Tom Brady was there is that there's equal share going across the field. When there's equal share going across the field, defenses we have to stay at home. We can't cheat to the right or cheat to the left. You know, but when you have heavy tendencies, when you have a guy that catches the ball, 12 times more than the next guy, we know where to cheat to. You know?
And he's talking about pre-Moss, okay? So y'all don't be texting in talking about, well, my house said, no, don't do that. Don't do that. He talking about pre-Moss, them first 3 Super Bowls. Yeah, you can't even name, don't Google it, but you can't even name them receivers that he had over there. Come on. Don't Google it, boy. That is
and the thing, as a former defensive lineman, he got the ball out so dang quick that it would frustrate the hell out of you.
Yes.
Right? You had to be able to just get your hands up.
Yes.
And you gotta hope that the coverage is gonna hold him buy you a second or two to be able to get home.
100%. I've had the protection from the offensive line slide away from me. And I got a dead shot right at him. And he throw the ball before I get there. Yeah. And it's like, that's how fast he's getting rid of the ball. It's crazy.
Guys, great stuff. Cannot wait to hear Briggs and Brown later as well.
Sure.
Digging the CHGO hats you guys are both wearing too. So these guys will be calling. As soon as we're done here, we usually go about 2 hours. As soon as we are done, another hour or so of the show, Briggs and Brown coming up right afterwards. Mark Carman pinch hitting for Greg Braggs today. Here's what we do. I think we have Kevin Byard in the locker room. Let's hear from safety Kevin Byard, who had a nice pick today. His hands up. Really nice play. And we'll be back with more as Karm and Braggs rejoin the show. Here's Kevin Byard.
Kevin, just walk us through your interception. How did it feel to get your first pick as a Bear?
Yeah, man, it's been long overdue. Excited the way the team played, man. I feel like we came out here to play with a lot of juice, a lot of energy. Just on that particular play, just locating the ball, tracking the ball in the air, not panicking. yeah, man, the guy ran a deep ball around like an over route or some post or whatever it was. And, yeah, man, just doing what I've always been doing in this league, man, tracking the ball and just making a play.
How much more gratifying is it to make a play that turns into points for the offense?
Yeah, man, I've been talking about just playing complementary as a team, and I think we did it a lot today. Had 3 turnovers, should have 4. JL, we definitely had discussion about that on the sideline. But, yeah, like I said, man, it's just a great team effort. Guys got sacks, turnovers, in all different varieties. The only one we was missing was a sack fumble. So, like I said, it's an exciting day. That's what it's supposed to look like, though. That's the standard that we play with, and that's how we want to play every single game.
Did you guys need a game like this as a whole, offense, defense, special teams?
Yeah, man, it builds confidence. This is still early in the season. We're definitely still, in that process of trying to get better. But this is a great example of what the Chicago Bears should look like, and that should be the standard going forward, and that's the floor. And obviously, we showed that today.
The fact that you guys win at home consistently, doesn't that help too? This season?
Yeah, man, you want to win a division. You want to be playing meaningful games in January and February. You got to protect your home field advantage. And that's what we've been doing. Obviously, they've been doing it even since I got here. But this year to be 3-0 at home, that's huge for us.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Oh, that is the standard. That is the floor. That was Stephen Nicholas with a great point right there.
No one saw that.
I still haven't figured out which one's the preview
it's
screen
okay
and which
if
one's
Corey.
live.
It's okay if Corey didn't catch the preview screen, but Karm.
He had a bad. Stephen acted like he was on live, so it's my fault. It's my fault.
Steven, how great was the last segment of the show? Other than the mic going out. Other than that, though, everything was great.
Okay.
Yeah, Karm's always lecturing me. The pro. I'm the pro here.
I am.
You idiot.
Hoge, I love talking with AB and Briggs. It's refreshing because I don't have to talk to Braggs all the time. And then Karm over here, talking about whatever drinks he does, whatever you call them.
Cockies.
Oh, my God.
All right. Hey, but let me get us back on point like I always do because I'm a professional. Yeah. That was awesome. That was the energy you're looking for. That's a winning energy right there by Kevin Byard. That's the standard. That's the floor.
What an interception, too.
Dude,
unbelievable play.
And what I loved about that play was he's got his eyes on the ball. He's playing the ball. If he's not playing the ball, he probably gets called for PI there. But you're entitled to the football. He's got his eyes up. He's jostling with the receiver. Yeah, but he's playing the ball. You're entitled to it. So he played that perfectly and got a really nice interception. Good hands on that play as well. I think we have more from the locker room, Karm.
Yeah, we've got Cole Kmet. Let's hear from our guy. Let's hear from the 85. Cole with a couple of big plays out there today. Here's our tight end.
Really gratified all 3 phases.
We've been taking steps every week, and then the defense continued to play really well. Obviously, our team units continue to play well, and then offensively we've just been growing. And I thought that was one of the better games I've been a part of since being here. Honestly, ran the ball when we needed to really well. Caleb was really effective in the pass game with the wind, and I don't think that should be looked over. It was a really tough day in the wind, and he was able to, really get the ball through the air effectively doing that stuff. And, that's not an easy task, especially here. So I thought that was really good, and just overall a really good football game for us.
A lot was made of the deep ball not being there in the first 4 games.
Sure.
For him to do that today, what does that do for kind of everything else in the offense?
It was there. So, sure there were some opportunities maybe in past weeks, but I think the main thing is having that 0 turnovers with the defense that we have. Not forcing things, and I'm sure he'll look at some things in the tape and wish that maybe he tried some throws that he didn't try. But at the end of the day, he has really good awareness as to where the team's at. Not just forcing things just to force them. And it's important to keep those turnovers low. And if he can have 0 turnovers and we have 0 turnovers at the end as an offense, I think we'll be on the winning side of most of the games.
It feels like every week we've seen him coaches will identify something that he needs to work on. He'll say it too, and then you start to see it show up in games. What is that like for you, getting to witness what he's doing in practice, the focal points, and then seeing it play out in games?
He's just a really good, quick learner, and it's not easy, especially at this level. And I just think it shows his willingness to get better each and every week. Obviously, he has the talent to be one of the best in the league. But he's done a good job of being patient with himself in a certain regard, but also having that fire on him where he feels the heat a little bit, where he knows he needs to get better at certain things. And there was things today that collectively that we all can be better at. And, but his command of the offense has just grown each and every week, and even a lot faster than I even anticipated to this point.
So the keys that I got from Kmet: 0 turnovers, not forcing things. So, I think that everybody on the offense sees that, hey, we got a great defense. You don't have to be a hero. We created a situation here where it's a soft landing for you. Just keep getting better each week. You don't turn it over. Bears are going to have a chance to win football games.
It's so important, though, to actually go out there and do that. And yes, there were a couple balls today that could have been picked off. The first one that we talked about on the first play of the game, that wasn't forcing anything, though. That was just a
bad
miss.
throw. Yeah.
And then later, that probably was a little bit of a force later on in the progression with 2 defenders there. Correct me if I'm wrong, though. Did he have any interceptions the first 2 weeks before they went to Indy, or were all his interceptions in that one game?
I'm double checking your work, but I think there was one. But I got to double.
Did he have one? He had one in Houston.
Yep.
One in Houston.
He had 2 in Houston.
2 in Houston.
2 in Houston.
2 in Indy.
Yes.
2 in Houston, 2 in Indy?
Yep. Correct.
Okay.
Karm will get it. He's our stats guy.
Yeah. So he has 3 interception-less games. Did the Bears win all 3 of those games?
Yes.
They did.
Turnover battle.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it's so important. And so to Cole's point there, he's getting better. He learned that lesson. And that's not to say he's not going to throw more picks. He 100% will. But it's games like today, man, these are – I'm going to keep bringing up this name because it's the comp I was making for Caleb before Caleb even started saying that's actually the guy that I try to model my game after. But today was an Aaron Rodgers-like game. 300 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions.
Yep.
That Rodgers has built a career off of games like that.
And you know what
Rodgers'
else?
stat line today? 3 picks.
3 picks.
Well, and what else did Rodgers make a career off of? A good run game supporting him. And so that's the biggest key. And when you talk about the things that Caleb needs to learn, there's a good chance in the Coleman Shelton and Caleb Williams exchange that they were discussing a run fit and him understanding what he needs to call out and protection-wise for the run game. Whenever everybody talks about, cadence at the line of scrimmage and identifying what you need to assign your offensive lineman and identifying the hot, it's not always just for pass protection. It's also to get your run game in order. And so this stuff takes time. I think we've gone an hour and 10 minutes of this game, and we're not giving Shane Waldren any credit. Shane Waldren deserves a ton of credit for as hard as
we tried, but AB didn't want to give him
Shane
any
Waldren
credit.
for as hard as everyone's been on him. What did everybody say all summer was the number one? What's the number one thing for this season? What did everybody tell me?
Caleb
Williams development, and he is developing every single week. And yes, it has taken time. Yes, there's been some frustrating moments. But at the end of the day, every single week now, Caleb's getting better. Now the run game's getting better. The offensive line is finding continuity. So Shane Waldren, 5 games in, everyone relax. Everybody wanted me to put the bag on and start firing everybody. No, you got to show some patience, even in a season where it seems like this team has a roster that's ready to win.
If you look at the 2 games the Bears lost, Caleb threw it 37 and 52 times. In the wins, 29, 29, 23.
Balance. That's what I'm talking
balance?
about. Getting more balance in this.
Yeah.
Balance and finding your
Before
personnel.
the season even started, I said there's going to be some growing pains with Caleb Williams. I think he's going to be a great player, but how do you take the pressure off him with the run game? Early on, Shane Waldren didn't do that. The past 2 weeks, what has he done? Got the running game going. What does it do? It takes the defense off balance. It allows him to be more confident, right? They don't know what he's going to do. And these past 2 weeks, what I've seen is a more efficient Caleb Williams. Today, he finally had that aha moment where you're like, this is the guy that we thought. Was it perfect? No. But he made some throws that you're like, man, that was Aaron Rodgers like, that was Patrick Mahomes like.
Well, and the 2 other things that they've added here over the last few weeks, getting under center, disguising what you're doing, and tempo. What'd you call it, Hogs? Call it
playing fast?
You said the Braggs tempo.
Oh,
Call it the Braggs tempo.
that never happened.
That is what you said.
I did not say that.
That's
never
what you-
said it. I said it.
He said it. The tempo.
In between the tackle runs.
Yes.
Not just all stretch. So what do? You wear down those opposing defensive lines, the front sevens, by running it in between the tackles.
Flipping Roschon and Swift, giving these guys fresh legs.
Thunder and lightning, baby.
I'll back you up though on the Waldren love because so you fell behind again today, and you're like, here we go again. Can't do anything in the first quarter. When they started getting a flow offensively, they leaned into it. They kept going quick game. Adapt to what you have, right? You haven't really been able to protect the passer a ton. So, and it was a team you should have been able to do that against today. And it's still early on, he was under fire. So they go quick game. They keep the tempo up, prevent the substitutions, and they keep getting the ball out fast. And that set up other opportunities then downfield to get more explosive plays, which that was another development today. Earlier when we were playing that game where, like, pick one thing that's been a problem and they've improved it, that's another one. Explosive plays. Much better the last couple weeks, especially today.
Well, and us, we talked about it in the pregame. Bears had scored 3 points all season in the first quarter, hadn't scored a touchdown. First series of the game, ugly, 3 and out, leave. Next series, instantly into the quick game. They did some no huddle, right? They did not wait. All right, let's go. Let's this is what we can do to get our rhythm going. Let's do it right now.
And when you talk about playing fast, that means everything starts to slow down because now you're putting things on tape that defenses have to respect. So last week, you only get 157 yards against the Rams, but what did you show on tape? You showed patience. You showed a willingness to check the ball down, not force balls into coverage. You showed that you're going to run the ball. So now that brings everybody sucked in a little more. Now you can start getting some things over the top. Play action starts to work. The more you put on tape, the more that things are going to slow down for Caleb Williams.
And defenses get very frustrated when you have that quick tempo. Like me and AB were talking about playing Tom Brady. You get so frustrated because you're like, the ball's coming out quick every time. There's a rhythm, there's a timing. And then all of a sudden, when you think it's not going to come out, all of a sudden it's a drop back, 5-step, boom, and he hits somebody. So it's like wearing down that opposing defense.
We got more from the locker room. You guys want to hear it?
I do.
Yeah,
Love hearing
Jaquan Brisker, who he's had a really nice couple weeks here, Jaquan Brisker, and a Mike Brown comparison thrown out from AB in the last segment, throwing his body around like that. But here's Jaquan Brisker in the locker room after the game.
So I'm third down. He caught a shallow cross and just came down, hit him, and then he fumbled the ball.
Where'd that rank among your all-time hits?
It was probably the first. Gotta be one. Yeah, I think that's probably my first. Definitely top 3 for sure.
Were you affected by that hit? Were you a little woozy, or were you feeling it? Were you worried about getting flagged?
I was definitely feeling it. I ain't gonna lie. I felt that one for sure. I felt that one like last year. I hit the tight end last year in Carolina. I felt that one for sure. Just had to, get back to myself and things like that. But, it was a big-time hit.
You recovered. I mean, you were fine at the end.
Yeah.
Just to make at that point, that was a big play in the game. At that point, you guys needed a big play. You got it. Is that just the way this defense is? It was you this time, but it's been others before. Is that just kind of tell the story of what this defense is all about?
Yeah, definitely just tell the story about, whenever we need a big play or, a big, stop or whatever, defense, shows up or, however the case might be, whatever player it is. We got a lot of stars over here, so. This time it was me, and any other time it's going to be a lot of different players too. So,
Jaquan, Kyler was just talking about, like, at any moment, any member of this defense can make a play like that. It's almost competitive. How does that make you guys as a unit better when everybody's looking to make that play like that?
Yeah, definitely competitive in the room, in the defensive room. Everybody trying to make a big play, so it just ups your, level. Make sure you're really locked in just to get that turnover and things like that. So. And we just push each other and things like that, so shows the accountability we have to each other, and show we want the ball very bad.
What was the message after the touchdown that you guys gave up?
We got to just be cleaner, clean football, just be ourselves and things like that. That was the message really. It wasn't, we just got to be cleaner.
Did that flip a switch at all? I mean, the way you guys played after that?
They definitely did, because a run bursting out like that, for a lot of yards, very bad on us. And then we won't be like, people scoring runs, things like that. So when people score, we definitely get a little mad, for sure.
All right, a very, very chill Jaquan Brisker in the locker room, who I saw it in the chat. I thought the same thing. It's 80 degrees out. He looks like he's ready for the dead of winter with that.
Greg spent the entire game complaining about the weather today on the most beautiful day we've ever had in October in the history of the city.
Well, Brisker's ready for that. That coat was serious.
It's hot.
To Penn State.
Yeah, he used to the cold weather. Right?
I mean, it's a cool coat. I'm sure he's just trying to show off the coat.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably some kind of designer. He's trying to stun on him.
It was a little chilly earlier this morning, so maybe that was,
It ain't cold for the snorkel.
Yeah. There we go. Bottom line,
it's aggressive.
He did say that, yes, I felt that hit. It took me a little bit to.
Yeah, like we said, I think he was out.
His head fell on the ground.
Yeah.
It looked.
In all seriousness, it'll be interesting to. That wasn't last year. There was after a game he was ill, right? He was feeling ill the next day, and then he ended up getting in the concussion protocol like a day or two later after that. Now the thing that's interesting about the injuries today, and he wasn't diagnosed with anything or he didn't miss a snap, but Tevin Jenkins goes out with an ankle, was already dealing with a rib issue last week. They got to get on a plane tomorrow. Fly overseas. So, assuming you get everybody on that plane, unless they're, you're talking about putting them on IR or anything like that, which I don't think anybody's in that situation. But that does kind of throw a little extra wrinkle in when it comes to the injuries, and they're not going to have the same facilities this week. I'm sure they're going to move heaven and earth to get all the right things, the right treatments that they can do on the road. They are going to a nice place, but it's not going to be Hallis Hall where you have all of these resources that you put into that building this week to get ready for next week's game.
Talking about Brisker, I think he just needs to be cognizant, right? Don't change how fast you're playing, but I think he needs to keep his head out of it because he's leading sometimes too much with his head.
I thought he tried to get his head out of the way on that
I agree.
tackle today.
Yeah.
If you look at the last second, he goes like this
he kind
to
of
the
moved
right,
it. Okay.
and
the tight end lowered his helmet 100%.
Into him. Okay.
Yeah.
So I think, but there was another play later in the game where he missed the tackle. That's the one I'm thinking of, where he was throwing his shoulder into that one, but again, it's just like
you got to wrap up.
Just wrap up because we're lucky that Pinheiro missed a field goal in that situation.
Everybody wants to make the big hit nowadays, but the thing is, tackle and grapple all day. You got to make that play there.
Yep.
Literally, there was a 30-yard after catch after that, just from you trying to boom somebody.
Yep. No, but outside of that, the last couple of weeks he's played like a leader on this defense, and as long as he can stay healthy,
that's the one thing, right? Just with being what concussions are and brain injuries and all that, and how they are keeping guys out.
Yep.
I would just like for him to keep his head out of some of these tackles.
Yeah, and then I think the other thing, before I forget it, while it's on the top of my mind when we're talking about the secondary, the moment where Eberflus dialed up that blitz to Kyler Gordon, I think it was 21-7, and the Bears had an opportunity to push the lead, and they had to punt because they didn't get the fourth down. And it was a big moment in the game. I know it sounds silly with the outcome of the game, but it's 21-7. The Panthers were at midfield. It was third down, and Eberflus dialed up a third down blitz with Kyler Gordon. That's where Gervon Dexter made that little hezzy stutter step.
The coffee house, they call it.
Coffee house.
Because what they were doing is they were doing stunts earlier, right? The tackle games. And what he thought on that was he was going to come back this way. So he hesitated, looked out, and then what did he do? Arm over, got the pressure in there.
That was just such a great dial-up in the perfect moment for Matt Eberflus. So while I gave Shane Waldren his flowers, I want to make sure I give Matt Eberflus his as well. They're calling good games on both sides of the field.
Steven, can we get another big money super chat in? It's been a little bit since we've done one of those. Keep those flying in. Again, all super chats make the show on the screen, and we read the biggest ones and answer some of these. Solid Angle, $50 coming in here after a Bears win. We may have our QB DJ revenge game greater than Andy Dalton revenge game. When's the last time we were above 500? Go Bears.
Week 1.
Week 1, yeah.
They went 1-0.
They went 1.
That doesn't count. This deep in the season. That's what he meant.
When were they above 500 after week 1? That's a good question.
Well, there was a time when Matt Eberflus was batting.
The last time. So then I guess then that question is, the last time they were above 500 after week 1 was when they beat the Niners and the Texans.
Which is what I was trying to say. Matt Eberflus was once batting 1,000. As a head coach.
But you tried to say it, and then I said it louder and stronger.
Yeah, and interrupted me.
That's how you got to get in where you fit in, my friend. You know, closed mouths don't eat.
When are you going to Paris again?
I am ready.
Jenny's
here.
Ready.
Take him.
Can you take him away?
Take him.
You know what he told me? He's like, I'm going to France. You know what I'm going to have? French fries. I said,
I didn't say this. Why are
Do
you
you believe this
just
guy?
making things up?
Oh, my God.
Lay Big Mac. You're going to get the Lay Big
Tomorrow
Mac?
night I'm going to be at the Lay Taco Bell.
Yeah, you probably would. Don't do that to your wife.
We have Matt Eberflus coming up soon. I don't think we quite have that ready. Karm, how are you feeling about your notebook
I
there?
feel so good about it.
Because, I think it's about that time that we let Karm do his things. It's Karm's Notes presented to you by Sunnyside. You can visit sunnyside.shop for bright buys every day, including 50% off your first 3 online purchases. Enter promo code HICHGO at checkout to qualify. Exclusions apply. Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary. Bright buys every day, only for 21 plus or Illinois medical card holders.
All right, so today's Karm's notes they're kind of abbreviated because it was such a fun day and everybody was just celebrating. But we started out with the 3-and-out for the Panthers that I put down, and then Hoge, before we got the football, Hoge, if the Bears go 3-and-out, I'm out on Caleb. That was the roller coaster that we were riding, and we went 3-and-out. So Hoge was officially out.
I was out.
He was out. He was out.
And then I was back in.
And Hoge's been in a good mood all day. At that point,
there's going to be at least 5 people that don't understand the sarcasm in that.
Yeah, right. That's fine. Don't worry about that. He also, when the Panthers punted there, he of course in Carmel special teams coach just started screaming out poison, poison, poison. Which
did?
Yes, you did.
Wow, I didn't even know I did that.
Yeah,
that
you
definitely
did.
means that I just went full coach and didn't even know I was yelling at
Yeah. And then what's making my notes today is a text from my guy, the Voochie Vooch, who's at Soldier Field today. The Voochie Vooch texted me at 12:06. The stadium is beautiful. I'm looking at the lake with the breeze in my hair. F a dome. Keep Soldier Field alive.
Yeah.
I know it's coming to an end quicker than whatever.
You know what's great about still having a roof on your stadium on a day like today? Especially if you build it with the glass, it still would be sunny inside. It would still be beautiful outside when you're tailgating.
Let the Voochie celebrate being at the game and enjoying the outdoors today, which I'm sure everybody that was there did. Dave Canales, he is making the early Karm notes. That dude is way too good looking to be an NFL head coach. He should be starring in a reality TV show. He should be on the front page of a catalog.
Maybe you should have a what with him?
A what?
What do you call a drink?
That's an odd reference right there, but listen, he's a good-looking man, and if he had a cocky in his hand, he could sell a good whiskey. He could. We're all having drinks here. That's what the point is. Then I get over to Chuba Hubbard. Just get off the show. Go to Paris. 5-yard pickup could have been more. The Panthers were go get the softball championship and celebrate it. If Woot's going to keep teeing it up, I'm not going to run from it. All right. The Panthers, you talked about this. They were running the ball successfully, and they just stopped doing it. Dave.
We are in an age where these coaches look less like, completely out of shape people that just like all they do is ball and they don't take care of themselves at all. You got Sean McVay, Dave Canales. Some of these guys are
Canales
jacked.
is on a whole other level.
Kevin O'Connell.
Yeah.
Even Flus stepped up his game this year.
Yeah, but
guy's looking pretty good. He's got some. He's got some biceps.
Canales is he's kind of Clooney-esque. DJ Moore on the early clip here, over 57 yards. He had 57. 50 was the over/under.
All right, keep going.
Okay.
He will never just keep going in these moments.
No, because I'm a visual guy.
Distracted squirrel.
There we go. DJ paid off today. If you watched the pregame show and you followed Karm's betting advice, you would have cashed in early today and just felt so good about it. Yes, Hoge?
No, it just made me annoyed again that Caleb Williams rushing touchdown didn't count.
Yeah.
Get a call back.
That was my prop.
Also, if you listen to Karm today, I said Gerald Everett was going to be an impactful guy today. We're going to find some Gerald Everett. 2 catches for Gerald Everett. The Gerald Everett game, it's back. Gerald Everett back on the team. There we go. Now, over to when the Bears got cute.
Yeah, they got a little cute.
Roschon Johnson was in at fullback after the Doug Kramer domination. They gave it to Roschon, got stopped.
Fourth and a 2-back set. They're just trying to cause some distraction with Swift going to the outside. And it's just like, you figured this out last week. Why do you have to get cute? You have Doug Kramer, and they did it later in the game, and guess what? It worked, of course. So, yeah, that was annoying.
Yeah, which moves us along to the Brisker hit. Knocked Tommy Tremble out with the concussion. And then, Woot, you started telling stories about Chris Conte.
All good thing.
Yeah, well, yes, but like how he literally was getting cussed all the time and was just willing to throw his body in there and not worry about it.
He threw his body on the line for sure. I'll tell you that.
And you know what followed that? We got to learn about Greg Braggs' golf game for the zillionth time and how he loves golf and
he takes it serious
and how he doesn't take it.
We've only talked about tennis on these airwaves for 3 years.
Was he a ball boy?
He's a ball.
We were in the middle of the game.
Man.
We were in the middle of the Bears walloping the Panthers. I wasn't talking tennis. This guy just wanted to talk about his golf game.
Well, we learned he doesn't have a handicap.
Right, doesn't have a handicap.
I do have a handicap, and his name is Mark Carman.
Okay.
Bang! See you in London.
Now we got the throw to Cole Kmet down the silent that could have been a touchdown, a little bit behind him.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that play. It seemed like he was trying to throw a back shoulder there. Speaking of golf, I'm not sure that was the right club to pull out of the bag there in that spot because Cole, I think, would have been adios. And no, they ended up scoring anyway on that drive. So
he's the pitching wedge. He needed about a 9 on that.
Yeah, he was wide open streaking, so we'll see that in the coming weeks.
He was what?
All right, so to the second half we go.
God,
what's that?
This guy's saying all these pause-worthy stuff.
Oh yeah, second half early on, DeAndre Swift picking up a blitz, got called for holding. That was some serious BS. That was a good job by DeAndre Swift. And then we got Caleb Williams straight exhausted after the Doug Kramer chip penalty.
Yeah.
Caleb was breathing hard.
He ran in for the touchdown, rushing touchdown. Then he tried to run out of the pocket to make another play. Throws an incomplete pass. He was gassed on that drive.
21 years ago was the last time the Bears had been called for a clip like that. 21 years ago. Shout out Kevin Fishbane on Twitter.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that was a penalty still.
He's probably just joking.
The clipping flag on Doug Kramer nullified Caleb Williams' touchdown was the first on a Bears. And Fishbane doesn't mess
Are you
about
saying
that.
Clipping or blocking in the back is
his
the wording or
there's illegal chop blocks. I've never heard clipping.
There's no way.
Not never, but it's been.
This sounds like one of those. This sounds like one of those Braggs facts that ends up not being a fact, but I just said it with confidence.
Are Karm's notes still happening?
When I was on punt return,
Yeah,
something got called back because of a block in the back.
I thought you said this was the abbreviated version.
I got 3 more for
That's
you.
what we heard.
One,
you were lied to.
The shout out one on the Karm notes you made it, Danny Parkin. Shout out to Breakfast Ball commercial. Apparently, Hoge has seen the show and likes it. I've only seen
Solid
the clips.
show.
Breakfast Ball. Congratulations to Parco out in New York. Big Cram. We were celebrating your whiskey late in the game. Woot was having a sip. Loved it.
Eric, our guy.
Straight up.
Yeah, came
smooth.
Came through. It was
Eric Crimmins is the man,
too.
a.k.a. Big Cram.
rare.
Eddie Pinero, you missed a field goal. That was enjoyable. And what?
Just
that was a good. Hey, it was Big Cram came through with a great, big, delicious drink.
What the heck?
And lastly, to my guy Joe, who wore his Bajent jersey out there. I just thought of you late in the game. And I went and watched our pregame video. My kindred spirit, wearing the Bajent to the tailgate, said he wore it for me. Joe, it was one of the highlights of my day, and a day with a lot of highlights. And that will conclude another rousing edition of Karm Notes.
I was watching I turned on the Packers-Rams game while you were doing that because I was just like, let you get through this. Jordan Love threw a pick 6. was one of the ugliest picks. He was in the back of the end zone, his own end zone, and he throws. I mean, it was an embarrassing pick.
That's awesome for us.
What's the score in that game?
I had it on for you, Corey.
You did? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You were multitasking? Get out of here.
Whoa.
The Rams lead 13-7. For those that want to say, oh, well, they haven't beaten anybody. Well, the Rams, who the Bears beat last week, are giving the Packers a lot of problems right now. 13-7. They missed the extra point. Rams with the lead here in the first half.
Well, and I'm glad that you just said that because unless you have something you want to segue into.
I'm the head coach of the Chicago Bears.
Maybe it is
Whenever
14-7.
you'd like to talk.
Gary's 14-7.
Let's do that, and then I'll bring up this topic a little bit later because it's a great topic, and I look forward to discussing it. But we should hear from the head coach of the Chicago Bears, Adam.
Loose after the game, his post-game press conference. Here you go.
Good to see everybody. So today, just got out of the locker room and really just visited with the players about the all together and playing complementary football. And that's been the focus for the last couple weeks, being able to do that. Complementary football is a big thing, and that's really just working off each other, right? So you saw that a lot today. At the end of the half, you saw it. Takeaways, scoring on those. We had 3 takeaways today to 0, which is a good number. We scored 16 points off of that. I thought the kicking game did a nice job of scoring points when they had to and setting field position. It was windy out there today, so the punt game for sure, punting the one way was an issue. Kicking towards our tunnel was better. So there's a lot of things that our cover teams did a nice job of as well. But I was pleased with the offense, the way they operated. For the offensive side, we really talked about being clean in terms of the penalties early in the game like we had last week. So the guys were operationally better there. I know it didn't start out exactly the way they wanted it, but they did well. Quarterback was clean. Took 1 sack. I had a quarterback rating of 126, and that's good quarterbacking. It just is. It's finding the completions, taking the shots down the field. We wanted to get our receivers, involved today, and we did that. Cole's been involved. Got G involved. We got everybody involved in the passing game. So I think that's really good to be able to distribute that, play point guard, and be able to do that. Hard to defend that way. So defensively, the guys that had the sacks, the 4-to-1 sack ratio against our opponent today was obviously big for us. That's a big thing for us, and I thought that was really good. And some of those, we caught some takeaways, in those critical moments, and guys have done a good job with that. I was really proud of the guys that recovered those fumbles, because to get a recovered fumble, you have to be hustling the way we do it. It just doesn't show up, because we expect everybody to punch at the ball. And then when the ball comes out, that person's hustling because he anticipated that ball was going to be there. And it doesn't happen but only a couple times a game. So you have to be going, and I'm proud of the guys that way. So a couple other things, I thought the offense did a good job of using the roster, different guys in different spots. I think that's really good, really creative by Shane. We're up-tempo at times, really creative by Shane. Not necessarily snapping it fast, but being on the ball, IDing the defense. They obviously had some injuries over there at the linebacker position, so it's very hard to communicate when you have young people over there, new people in there communicating. So I thought that was good tactically by Shane. It was really good. In terms of injuries, 76 was ruled out. We'll see where he is. It's an ankle. I don't know that yet. Bill Murray stepped in, did a really nice job stepping in there from what I saw. Again, I got to look at the tape, but it looked like he was physical. He was sound in there. In terms of fundamentals. Matt had to go to the other side, which he did a good job with that. He had to do that last week as well. And then the ejection, Matt Pryor got ejected, and he knows he can't do that. Obviously we got to keep our water temperature to a lukewarm to hot, but not boiling. And sometimes that happens in that game. It's a physical game, and sometimes that dial starts to get turned up, and you got to be able to have self-control and turn it down. And that's all it is. It's not that big of a deal. But he knows that he's got to be better in that particular moment. With that, I'll take questions.
You guys talked last week about how you didn't want to take negative plays, and Caleb goes out and goes 15 for 15 for in short range. You talked this week about taking advantage deep when you can. He goes out and has 2 deep touchdown passes. What's it say about his ability week by week to kind of answer the call that you guys are very clear about, both with him and to us, about what he needs to improve?
Yeah, he knows that this is his first year, doing this, and he's gonna face a lot of different things, different looks, different defenses, different coverages. knowing his guys, know what he can do and can't do, but still keep everything in there where he's good quarterbacking. And he's just learning and growing. And you can see that, during the course of these games that we've had, and he needs to continue to grow. He knows that. So he's just got to level up, keep leveling up. And every time we've challenged him, he's done that ever since the summer, learning the offense, coming back better, all the way through training camp. And now the season just getting better and better every single week. And really that's just continuity, time on task, good communication with the offensive coaches, with everybody. And, again, I told the guys there's just because of the score was the score today, there's a lot of things to learn from that tape. The performance is the performance. The performance is over. Now, what can we take from that to get better? Let's partner up with your leaders in your unit, okay, and also your coaches to make sure that we're getting better on the things we need to get better at. And that's any case, win, lose, or draw.
What did the first touchdown do for the sideline? You guys hadn't scored a lot in the first quarter. You were down quick. What did that do just emotionally?
Yeah, I think it was exciting. Our guys are pulling for each other. We got a tight group. They are tight. They're always there for each other, in times of adversity, in times of success, and then turning the page to the next play. And that's what they do. So they did that today.
What's your sense of the significance for DJ of capitalizing on a couple of those big opportunities to put it in the end zone?
Yeah, it's great. It's great. And we've seen him in practice, so, I always tell guys, you'll see it on the practice field before you see it in the game. And we've seen those, and they've made some good connections over the last couple of weeks, and we were just waiting for it and got the coverage we wanted and worked out.
I don't think we've asked you, what was behind the decision to have 3 practices in London as opposed to their teams who go in later?
Sure.
And practice at home. Why do you want to do it?
Yeah, just to get over there and get our clocks right. That's the science part of it. I went to Italy this summer, and I'll tell you, it takes you a couple days to get there. So I'm all in for that. And, but yeah, that's all it was. Just the science of it. We're going to go there Wednesday. We'll go there Monday, get there Tuesday morning. The players have their day off that day, which is normal. Then they'll bring them back in on Wednesday, and we'll have a walk-through practice to get their bodies ready to go. And then from there will be normal business operation there. Thursday will be our normal first, second, and third. Friday will be our red zone day. Saturday will be the walkthrough, and then Sunday we'll play the game.
On Swift's touchdown, he's not often your goal line back. Is that more to reward him on the 42-yard or right after the 42-yard catch?
Yeah, we just, you have certain players for certain things, and we like him on that particular one. So it just comes down to the skill sets that we like for that particular operation or that particular play.
Explanation on the clipping?
What's that?
Explanation on the clipping.
Yeah, they said it was clipping. That's what they said. I got to take a look at it. I don't know that much about it right now.
When's the last time you saw a clipping?
I haven't seen that in quite some time. I haven't had players ejected like that. I don't think so. You can look it up, Pat, but I don't think I have. So.
Matt, what was the reasoning for going for the 2-point committee?
Yeah, that was the chart. That was it. I thought it was. I liked the idea better from the 1. If they would have moved it up there, but would they offset and put it back at the 2? But that's what it was.
What does it mean for you guys to control a game like you did today against an opponent that you probably should control?
Well, it comes down to it's all about us. When you really think about it, it's all about us. And I was proud of the guys the way they focused in to get better, going all the way back to Monday. What can we improve on? What can we get better at? And how do we win this game, this particular game? So the starting fast was a big part of it. And we hit that right away with the guys, and that's execution. You can't put yourself behind the sticks like we did last week, having a 1st and 15 and a 2nd and longs and all that stuff. And we did a little bit of that in the second half. They started out a little bit like that. There's some penalties, got us behind the sticks. And it's hard to operate that way as an offense when you get those holding penalties and put you back. So, but for the most part, it was good. That was a good operation today.
Coach, you've been getting better every week. I know that's exactly what a coaching staff would like to see. How satisfied have you been with the way the team is building, getting stronger?
Yeah, I said it in training camp. I trust these guys. Man, the leadership is strong. That's why I got 8 captains. I never thought I would ever do that, but, man, those guys are strong. And there's a lot of other strong leaders, in each unit and the special team. So they've been building their relationship, building it tight so we know we're going to go through adversity during the season. But I'm happy for the guys the way they've operated here. And, again, every week's a challenge. And so we're going to enjoy this for 24 hours, and then we're going to get to the next one.
Thanks, guys.
Aaron.
All right, there he is, Matt Eberflus after the game, after the Bears get their 36-10 win over the Carolina Panthers. We go from the press conference room back up to the press box to the guy that was in the locker room, and it's time for Inside the Locker Room with Nicholas Moreano. All right, well, one of these weeks we'll
get it right.
Yeah, I feel like we're 0 for 5 on this really cool intro we have.
People
for
want
Nick.
to see Nick, man.
Enhanced. Not that he needs any
There
more
he is.
enhancement. Look at how good he looks. But Nick, first of all, great job in the locker room. We got a lot of great sound that we already put on the show. But we'll tee it up to you. What did you gather from inside this? I'm sure it was a pretty happy locker room after what the Bears did today.
Yeah, it was definitely a pretty happy locker room. But also, like, just something I'm just listening to some of the defensive players, you guys, it's almost like they're happy with the victory. It was a dominant 36-10 performance, but it's like, oh, we missed a strip sack fumble, like Kevin Byard was saying. It's like we caused 3 turnovers. You could have easily had 4. So I think that's just the standard of what this defense has been instilled from Eric Washington, Matt Eberflus. So, yes, it was a dominant victory, but I think this unit just always thinks they can do more. When they gave up the one long touchdown run to Hubbard, Jaquan Brisker was saying in the locker room, it's like, yeah, that kind of was like a switch for us to kind of get things going back on the right track. So, yes, there definitely was a happy locker room. There were a lot of smiles. Also, you heard some London chatter as, people are exiting, getting ready for the long plane ride. But definitely a happy locker room. And then really quickly, before we actually enter the locker room, you guys got a chance to just see Tevin Jenkins, who obviously didn't finish this game due to the ankle injury. He didn't have like any braces or anything, was walking under his own power. So hopefully as the week goes on, we see what his status is moving forward.
Nick, did you get a chance at all to talk to DJ Moore? We talked about it before the game, how people were saying that maybe he wasn't the happiest with the offense and how he's been getting the ball. Did you talk to him at all after the game and just see how his spirits were after that good performance from him?
So right before he actually went up to the podium, he was actually in the locker room for a little bit, and he had one of his kids, and there's all smiles. There were high fives being, shared from DJ Moore. So I think when you have the game that he had today, I don't think there's not really a chance for you to be in a bad mood, because scoring 2 touchdowns against a former team, going over 100 yards, it seemed pretty positive just from his quick time in the locker room, and then he spoke to reporters who were at the podium. But all good vibes there, Woot.
Yeah, and Nick, we heard from Cole Kmet earlier. We heard from Kevin Byard, and we heard from Jaquan Brisker. How about Rome Odunze? I know you got a chance to talk to him, and still kind of feeling some things out, but did have 5 catches, 40 yards today. And just curious kind of where he's at after a big game for this offense and what he had to say.
Yeah, so on Friday, Adam, I got a chance to talk to Rome about some of the explosive plays that haven't been happening with this offense. And then real quickly, we were just chatting off to the side today, and it's like, well, you told me you guys were close. And today, from what I charted real quickly, the Bears had 9 explosive plays. In the first 4 weeks of this NFL season, they had 12 total. So getting 9 in this one game alone shows that what Rome Odunze was seeing on tape, it was right there. And obviously it helps when you play a team like the Panthers, but he called it was good for the offense to have this breakout performance. You just continue to build, and really you talk about building confidence through this. Like, even though this was against the Panthers, like this, they only look at how the team performs from their own standard. They don't really look into what the opponent's been doing, what they're ranked in the defensive categories, anything like that. It's like, how do they execute? So they took care of business, you guys. They did what they needed to do. Were able to generate some of those explosive plays, and that was obviously a good thing for this offense going into London this next week.
Well, one more for you, Nick. Gervon Dexter has really improved so much as a pass rusher. Got 4 sacks for the year. I think he's leading all D tackles in the NFL. Mm-hmm. Did you get a chance to talk to him or any of his teammates about his performance?
No, so I didn't get a chance to talk to Big Dex, but I think right now it's hard to argue that Gervon Dexter and Jaquan Brisker are playing probably the two best on the defense right now because of what they're able to do. And I think it was on the play that Jaquan Brisker causes the fumble. Wasn't it Gervon Dexter that went to go recover the football. When I asked Kyler Gordon about that hit that Jaquan had, and he's like, I forgot the exact wording, but he kind of lost track. He's like, the hit caught me off guard, and I didn't even go think about to get the football. Well, luckily, Gervon Dexter came from wherever he was at on the football field. He was able to pounce on the football and create the turnover. But, yeah, Gervon Dexter, I think, he's been great. It's hard to say anything other than that because of not only the stats, but just what he's meant to his football team, how he's able to create some of these turnovers or capitalize when the ball hits the ground. He's been really balling out at that 3-tech position that they needed him to do this season.
So Patrick Norton, who is sitting next to you in the press box, he wants us to ask you about the higher or lower card game on the Jumbotron. What's that all about?
Yeah, so Patrick was on his game today, you guys. Like, they always have, cards that fans have to, guess higher or lower. And, he predicted that if the fan had gone higher, that the final card was going to be a jack. And lo and behold, it was a jack. And, I don't know, Patrick was on his game. He tweeted earlier before the game, you're going to see Bryce Young at some point. It's going to be a complete blowout. I forgot his exact score of this game. But, the Bears ended up blowing him out. He was the closest out of any of us with his score prediction. So, yeah, Patrick was on it. And also, I forget what song he's really good at singing, but maybe we'll have to do something and make a video where he can just, share his karaoke voice, because I think that's something that we all need to hear.
We need to hear Pat's karaoke voice? No, I'm intrigued. I just hope it's better than Karm's.
It is.
Okay.
It is, yeah.
Okay.
There's no debate there.
Verified by Nick. All right, Nick, I know you're gonna have some great stuff up online, allchgo.com. Some of that will be free, some of it behind the paywall. Become a diehard for all the extra content, but great stuff from the locker room today, Nick.
All right, you guys. See ya.
We are off to London with Nick tomorrow, and apparently Greg and Karm already left for London. I don't know.
In the spirit, I think.
It's just the two of. Oh no.
Cheerio.
Chip, cheerio.
You do know you cannot wear that on the plane.
No.
I'm so excited.
They will take you off the plane right away and put you in interrogation. You are a national security threat.
I'm so looking forward to hanging out with all you fine chaps for 8 days straight. It's going to be lovely.
I'm so excited.
We're going to...
Please don't do that in...
I'll be doing that, don't you worry. At the River Thames. And
River Thames? Thames?
I think we go to the palace, and then we go look for the Big Ben.
Wait,
we
what
go to the
accent is that?
The Big Ben.
It's not English.
Maybe indulge in a few cockies.
We'll have. We're gonna have fish and chips and all of the delicious beverages.
This is the worst British accent.
I'll probably avoid an English breakfast or two.
I'm so looking forward to being on the plane.
Might like it. Beans, you Taco Bell type.
No, I'm not. I mean, we'll see. I'll give English breakfast a second chance. I was there in 2019. I'll give it a second chance, okay? For you. London.
You can't talk like that in that outfit. You must
Can
adjust
you
yourself.
stop with that accent? It's terrible.
We have a new head of content here, Tony Gill. People can't see behind the screen.
And he's looking at it with
he is regretting his decision to join this company right now.
He's like, what's going on here?
It's that bad.
I think it's a great idea.
I feel very at home. I'm the only one here that's been to London in the last 6 months. I was there for Wimbledon, and it was lovely. And I'm looking forward to sharing that experience with you.
Guy Finley said, I don't think Karm could imitate Karm.
Guy Finley's been very rude today, all day. That's fine. We'll get him. Maybe he needs to have a couple of beverages, Guy Finley.
All right. We might need the quarterback to save us.
Yeah, we need that.
I think that's the only thing we can do in this situation.
Well, make sure you hit up truefantravel.com for all the events coming up here. We're doing a live show, right? On Thursday? Thursday? Name of the pub again?
Passayunk
Avenue.
Oh, the Passayunk?
Passayunk Avenue is the name of the bar we are going to be at in London on Thursday doing a live show. Anybody can come out for that. You can still purchase tickets to our boat cruise on the River Thames. You can come to our pep rally Saturday night. We have a tailgate before the game. So if you're in London, you're coming to the Bears Jags game, You can still get tickets to all these events, even if you're not signed up for the whole trip at truefantravel.com. We'd love to hang out with you, and no, we will not be wearing these ridiculous outfits.
We might go over to Churchill's war room to try to get a little inspiration, you know? He was fantastic. World War II, taking down the Nazis. Come on. Go to the war room.
Send me a DM. You can meet me up, and we will throw Mark Carman in the River Thames.
I like
I'll
to
fly
see.
out there for a day.
We're gonna
just to
take.
do that.
I'm gonna get Flus to come with me to the war room.
I'm sending you a DM.
War rooms
is what I'm doing. Caleb Williams spoke a short while ago. He's gonna save us now on this show. Here's Caleb Williams after the Bears win.
Everybody's commenting on how the win was such a factor today, and like just how did that affect the passing game? It didn't seem to have much effect on your accuracy at all.
Yeah. First of all, how's everybody doing? I'm good. Yeah. So the win today was weird because at certain times it was blowing that way, but the opposite side was this way. So multiple times after when we had TV timeouts or anything like that, I would spray the water bottle to figure out how aggressive the wind was and things like that. So it definitely affected. Like the first pass I threw, as soon as I was throwing it, I could feel the gust of wind, and it just kind of took the ball when Keenan ran the out or the speed out, and Keenan did a good job kind of getting his hand in the way and batting it down. Because it ended up being behind them, and it was different things like that. But I think cutting through the wind and things like that, I don't think I've had too many issues of dealing with that. But it was definitely a factor of understanding the wind and things like that.
We talked this week about how going deep was kind of the next step after you were really efficient.
Yep.
What did that do today? What did that do for the rest of the offense?
Yeah, I mean, when you're able to be efficient down the field, and obviously we had to cold down the sideline, a couple screens and things like that, and playing well with each other of short passes, good runs, check downs, and then obviously opening it up and being able to hit a couple of deep balls. I think it limits kind of what defenses can do in a sense of, when you're hitting on different things. Now the defense is just trying to scramble and trying to figure it out. And when you're being consistent, how we were today with the run game and obviously with the pass game and hit some explosive plays, it does good for the whole football team. It keeps us on the football field, being efficient, and then when you have those big plays, the momentum swings and things like that, so it's great for the football team and having those momentum swings and being able to keep it with the team that we have in defense and special teams and offense. Us playing together and playing like that, you're going to win a lot of games.
You mentioned the second touchdown that you hit to DJ. He said that you guys were waiting on one like that. First, what did you see in the matchup there with him singled up? And second, how bad did you want to hit one of those for him?
Yeah, I've been wanting to hit one of those. DJ is such a special player, and y'all saw it today, him making plays. I think at one point he was 100 and something for a couple catches and things like that. So having a special player like that in your team, you obviously want to give him the ball, let him just be DJ and be special. So it felt really good. We were super excited. We get to the sideline. We both finally we were able to hit something like that. So the coverage pushed over when I made the check to the right side. DJ did a good job keeping it skinny, getting on the DB's toes, and then keeping it skinny. I saw the safety push over right before the snap when that happened, and they were adjusting to my check that I made, and then saw it happen. Safety pushed over, and then DJ obviously did a great job and made a great catch.
He's such a jack of all trades. He's such a jack of all trades as a receiver. To see him on the receiving end of that deep ball, does that unlock another level of this offense for you? Yeah,
definitely. Just us getting comfortable, us seeing what we can do, type of pass you can throw to him. He made a couple awesome passes or catches this week in practice, and just building the confidence and trust between each other, and trust in this offense between everybody, offensive line, running backs, protection, the routes, and what depth they're running it at, how many steps, and things like this, things like that, going through reads and a bunch more. So just we need to keep building, keep going. Obviously, great win, but definitely not settled on this.
You mentioned the sideline pass to Cole Kmet, and he was telling us in the locker room that he just was hoping he would catch it because it was like a slider coming in because of the wind.
Yep.
If he turned a little bit, he probably could have scored. Were you thinking the same thing?
Yeah, definitely. You made a great catch. The wind kind of caught the tail end of it, and it kind of wobbled on him. And great concentration by him. Corner or nickel bit on the route we had going to the flats, and saw it happen. Tried to juice it in there a little bit because it was a little bit longer throw, especially on that side. The wind, I guess, kind of drops in and then just pushes the ball. And Cole did a great job catching it, getting down. No, you're all good. All good.
What did you think of the play where you got hit out of bounds up in the air by Nick Scott?
Yeah. Got hit in the air. Thought it'd be a flag. I think I was out of bounds for a good little bit. Didn't happen. Got up, play football.
Did you ask why it wasn't a flag?
I didn't ask. I just kept going. Just kept trying to play football, help the team go score, and we did a good job keeping the ball in our hands.
Before you were drafted, you talked about the idea of the excitement of going to a team that's picking number one, but in a good position there as a franchise. To be in this spot, 3-2, you get a win here. What's the feeling for you as you guys kind of build forward?
Yeah, we definitely. The games even that we lost, we were right there. Most of them were just small details throughout the game that we were missing, and I think after those losses, and even after this week and the week before, these wins. Us understanding, the leaders and things like that, understanding we got a lot of room to get better. We got a lot of things that we need to fix. Like this week, I think it was Thursday, we didn't have our best practice offensively. The next day, leaders, met kind of a little bit walking off the field on the offensive side and said we need to be better tomorrow. We came back the next day, locked in and focused, and obviously understanding the situation. And us just, pushing each other for that next day. And it led into the game, I think. Like I always talk about, the personality and things like that of the team is going to continue to grow. But, we're excited. We understand we got to keep growing and keep progressing. But definitely excited about being 3-2.
So that was super interesting because you got the head coach, when we were hearing from him earlier, talk about how we got 8 captains, and I never thought I'd have 8 captains on a team or even go that route, but felt like they deserved it. And then that was news right there. You heard from Caleb. Bad practice Thursday on the offensive side, and he said the offensive leaders got together and said that wasn't good enough, and they came back Friday much better, and he thought that carried into the game. Corey, as a former player sitting here, what do you make of all that? Because it's 2 weeks in a row we've had leadership meetings. Yeah. But they've won both of the games after it's happened.
And they've looked pretty well offensively. Yeah. So I think it's something about the leadership and them righting the ship, because nothing's going to be perfect, but it's about how you make adjustments. And what we've seen the past 2 weeks is adjustments. So I think Shane Waldren, I know everybody was really down on him, but you got to give him his props for these past 2 weeks. I know the Panthers, right? Everyone's saying they're slouched. They had all these people out, but they're an NFL team. They're going to play hard. And, for them playing at Soldier Field, they wanted to give Caleb and a rookie quarterback everything they had. And he had a strong performance. They got the run game going. Was everything perfect? He did? No. But he went for over 300 yards, and it slowly just continues to build his confidence as a player in this offense.
Well, and that's where you, again, comparing and contrasting to last year. When they lost to the Bucs going into the Chiefs game, that's where I do believe that's where the questions between the quarterback and the coaching started to come into play. And that week leading up, they were talking about how they needed to fix things. And then what happens?
Commanders.
They got the brakes beaten off them by the Chiefs that week.
Yep.
So it took a couple more weeks for them to get there. They did make adjustments, so I'll give them that much. But at the same time, the last 2 weeks, when you're hearing about the leadership committee, you're hearing about the offense having to have a regroup, those both followed. Then wins followed. So there's talking going on this year, but then they're backing it up with correcting what they're trying to correct, not getting their face beat in on Sunday.
Well, there's a lot to like there, right? You've got veterans who are looking for accountability and holding standard, which is huge. The fact that Caleb's willing to acknowledge it means that it registered with him. And, we were kind of just, and I was doing this before the game, and Hoge was getting on me a little bit for it, but I'm like, who do you think's happy on this Bears offense right now? You think DJ Moore's happy with how much he's getting the football? I'm going to guess not.
Yeah, now he is.
Yeah, now he is. So, Keenan Allen, probably not that happy. DeAndre Swift, I bet he's not that happy. Khalil Herbert, who we played on the pregame show, not that happy because he's not getting the ball. But so there had to be a lot of angst around, and then they have a bad practice, and then instead of all going home and just kind of throwing in the towel, that they talk about it and they come back the next day and do better, and the quarterback's talking about it on Sunday, that's a really good sign.
Well, and all the talk about how Caleb Williams, one of the biggest things here in the first 4 weeks was his deep ball accuracy. They put the stat on the during the telecast of how bad it's been the first 4 weeks and how they hit on some things this week. Ryan Poles was interviewed this morning on ESPN 1000. He said that they were starting to hit on some of the deep balls at practice, and then that translated to here on Sunday. So, again, when we talk about things being a work in progress, the chemistry, the timing, all that stuff, rhythm, it's all starting to come together. It's a beautiful thing to watch.
100%. Look, these days are fun. It's a beautiful tailgate. Bears dominated. Quarterback played well, and there's only one way to end this show is all the super chats that we got to get to.
We're going to do that after I give you this one last brilliant Karm thought.
Are you going to tell us about how unhappy everybody is again?
No, it's I might, but no, I'm going to tell you this in 20 seconds, so you're going to like it.
Okay.
The cool thing that's on deck for the Bears right now is that the biggest question is, can they beat a good team? Like, can they beat a really good defense? Which we're not going to find out next week against Jacksonville because they're near the bottom. But that's what's coming out of the bye. It's like, are they going to be able to beat the Lions? Are they going to be able to beat the Packers? And that's a cool question to have after 5 weeks in the season.
Can I have a meatball take before we go?
Yes,
I do have a meatball take, and it's apropos for today. So I'll dial it up. I know I put my boy Steven on the spot. Regardless,
I'm excited.
Whether the fact we have the intro video, let me just tell you my meatball take of the day is not only did the Bears convincingly win the trade over the Carolina Panthers, which they were discussing on the telecast.
That's not
no need for a discussion anymore. The player the Panthers ended up getting is on the bench for Andy Dalton. But the haul the Bears received, including DJ Moore, Tyreek Stevenson, Caleb Williams, they still got stuff coming down the road with a second-round pick. This trade will go down as the greatest trade in Chicago sports history. And you know why? Because the Chicago Bears are going to win a Super Bowl with Caleb Williams. That's my meatball take of the day. I have no doubt that one day we will see this happen. The Bears got the quarterback position right, and I'm excited for the future of this team. So anybody that's worried about how this is going to go, enjoy the ride, enjoy the journey. The Bears won the trade. It's the greatest trade in Chicago sports history. Get ready for your Super Bowl.
You know what? I got to give that meatball.
It's not really a meatball.
A rare, incredibly rare. The rarest uncooked meatball take.
It's uncooked?
You know why? Because you can go on the CHGO YouTube channel, and we did a whole tavern-style debate. And I said that, what was that, in June?
Yeah,
I think I said it in June. I said it already was the greatest trade in Chicago sports history.
Well, it needed to be said again today with the Panthers here at Soldier Field. Needed to be said again.
The Super Bowl.
And it was Caleb's quintessential breakout game here on the NFL stage. So I'm just excited for what we're seeing, and I know that one day he is going to go down as the greatest quarterback in Chicago Bears franchise history, and that trade will go down as the greatest trade in Chicago sports history. And there have been some great trades here in this city.
Karma argued.
Marion Hossa, Dennis Rodman.
That was you and me, right?
Yes, it was. We'd have to go back and watch that one for me to remember what we said.
You don't even remember what your take was?
Kenny Lofton.
You went against me. You said it was. You said it was the Arrieta trade.
Yeah, I said the trade that helped the Cubs win the World Series and at 108 years.
That was a good one. That was a good one.
I just think
and your whole contention was that the Bears were going to turn into a dynasty, which maybe they will, and then you'll be right.
That was never said in that show.
It wasn't?
But thanks for being there.
I think it was
That would be nice.
I was focused in on just the haul and like what
Right. And then I mentioned probably C.J. Stroud, and I probably mentioned some other things. And
and then
we don't want to do this right now.
No, we don't.
We really don't.
But I'm just, we're supposed to, part of the meatball take that we're doing
I thought that was
is we're supposed to rate it on a thermometer. And I just think that one needs to be cooked a little bit more. That's all I'm saying.
And I think that you need to be cooked a little more. Ooh. So keep cooking him about his Gervon Dexter take and Jalen Carter.
Don't you have a
he
flight?
gets really upset about
Don't you have a flight to?
My arm is cooking right now. I'll tell you that. It feels like it's 20 degrees warmer than the rest of my body.
Hoge got stung by a bee. Yeah. Hoge's playing hurt. Hoge's still here.
I'm fine. Steve, $20 super chat. Rating goes from rookie to all Madden when the divisional games start. We'll see how far Caleb has come and how far he has to go. Come on, Kramer, with the first chop block since the aughts. Bear down.
Yeah, 2003. That's exactly what I was just saying a second ago. Me and Steve are on the same wavelength. Thank you, Steve.
But it wasn't chop. We've seen chop blocks. It was clipping. Yeah, I didn't even know there was still a penalty.
It's all right. That's nothing
Woot
that will
and I both
continue.
looked at each other during the Caleb presser, by the way, that he sprays the water bottle to judge the wind.
Usually it's grass. Like in golf.
And Woot said he never heard that. I never heard that either. I'm thinking maybe it's because
waters has more weight than grass.
If the water's not moved by the wind, then maybe it won't affect his throws.
Yeah.
I've
never heard of it.
I've never heard of that either.
Upper level Caleb, he's better than both you.
Not better than your accent.
Yeah, let's not ever bring. Nope. No.
That's ridiculous.
No. Iculus. $20. Here we go. Number 18 has arrived. Start stacking the wins, baby.
Yes, sir.
And when his head hits the pillow tonight, it's going to feel real comfortable.
Farming Bear.
Oh, so good.
20, that would be more comfortable than Braggs' pillow on the plane.
Woot's the one with pillow talk every time on game day. We need to make a segment, Pillow Talk with Woot.
I like
it's
that.
it's like a comfort thing. When I'm on the couch watching, I just like
ain't
nothing going on here, all right, guys?
It's his binky. That pillow is Woot's binky.
$20 from Farming Bear. Question for the players. What is the point of dropping Billings in coverage? I just don't understand. Happy for the win.
Did that happen?
Woot, you want to take this one?
Sometimes just to give him different looks, because sometimes when they do those checkdowns, he's going right where they're going. So it's just to show him a different
not question the athleticism of Andrew Meatball Billings, the man.
So you're going to call him Meatball Billings to his face?
I mean, me and Billings are pretty cool. We talked a few times at camp. I tell him how big a fan I am of him, so it's a term of endearment here at CHGO Sports. So yes, he would. I venture to say,
just like Karm and Tory Taylor.
Well, Karm is a good man, and everybody loves him.
Tory and I are close. We're gonna get closer.
Zero Demon, $10. Swift didn't play in the preseason. He's just now getting warmed up. Yeah.
Okay, Zero.
Get hot.
Okay.
I'll hear that.
All right, we'll close things out with Crystal. $10. Bear down, guys. Also, happy 66th birthday to my dad. Nice win on your birthday.
Happy birthday, Pop.
We shouted him out in the pregame, too.
Yes, we did.
You know what, though? Crystal showed up at the tailgate for like 5 minutes today because she,
Don't.
I got a big problem with that. She shows up late, then she leaves early, and so I'm over it.
What's
Crystal.
late to a tailgate, though? It's all relative.
Yeah, it's late to me. If I call it late, it's late. Tailgates have been awesome. Appreciate everybody here for this first part of the season, coming out to our tailgates at the corner of Wabash and Cermak. When we get back from London after the bye week, after the road game against Washington, we'll be back at the corner of Wabash and Cermak for the Patriots game, right? So that's the next one. It's a ways away. Yeah, it's a ways away, but get your tickets at allchgo.com/events and come out for our next tailgate, because by then, Bears will be rolling.
My last shout-outs from people at the tailgate. I shouted out a bunch of you in the pregame, but postgame, Tim Whitehead from Texas, his first game since 1977. He was 26 in 1977, was up here. Tim, was awesome talking to you. Kurt and your
Karm was also 26 in 1977.
That's
36, 46.
I was in my prime at 77. Great 4-year-old. My kickball game was already on point. Brandon and Kurt, father and son. Brandon kicked my ass in bags. Congrats. So and Kurt did, but the two that tandem took out me and Crystal. That was painful. Michael Wataska, huge Darnell Wright comments with him. Tom is a huge Caleb guy. John Kitcha, thank you, John. Was worried about the O-line and the coaching. Ryan came from San Francisco, became a Bears, grew up in San Francisco. Why is he a Bears fan? Because he loved Brian Urlacher. He also, wanted to sign up to be a diehard today. That was the guy you were talking to. Chloe was in the house. And that's I guess about it for now.
It was a really fun tailgate, really fun day altogether. Braggs has to go. He's getting on a plane tonight. The rest of us are leaving tomorrow. Don't worry, we have a normal Monday show with Lance Briggs and Alex Brown, Mark Carman, and Herb Howard tomorrow before everybody leaves.
Briggs and Brown coming up right now.
I'll be in Paris. So have fun with that.
So starting Tuesday, you can expect our coverage from London to start. It's going all week long. So if you're out there, we got plenty of events to come to. Check out truefantravel.com if those tickets are still available to come join those events. We reopened them over the weekend. Demand is hot, so we love that. We love seeing that, and we'd love to see you out there. Now, if you're not going, we got shows for you all week. The coverage starts Tuesday. And we are going to be, whether it's on social media or right here on the YouTube channel, we have so much coming your way starting Tuesday for a full week from London. We do big events, right? We're going to do this one bigger than any of the ones we've done before. So stay tuned. Make sure you hit that like button.
Remind yourself.
I'm just seeing that. No, don't interrupt me. 849 likes? That's ridiculous. That should be way over 1,000. Hit the like button right now before this ends.
And hit subscribe.
Yes.
Subscribe.
Let's
hit the
jack that like button
hit
up.
the subscribe button, or else
you have to hear Karm's accent again.
Yeah.
No.
And make sure you tune into the Briggs. Make sure you tune into the Briggs and Brown show. So do not leave this channel. As soon as this show's over, Briggs and Brown getting fired up with one Mark Carman as I head to O'Hare Airport.
I got no other thoughts other than I can't wait to see you all in London. Not Paris. We're going to London, right?
You should have to wear the Bobby outfit for the Briggs and Brown show.
One last plug, too, because later tonight when Sunday Night Football is over, all NFL Sunday Huddle will start immediately. You can find it right here on the CHGO channel, too. And guess what? Karm's going to be on. So you're getting the double dose of CHGO on the show tonight.
No accents, all right?
I'm going all NFL for the win. Hoge, I'm bringing a level of game that you've never seen before tonight.
And you know who's playing tonight, too? Justin Fields.
Ooh, where's Cowboys?
Oh, boy.
So it's going to be a fun show later tonight.
That fourth rounder.
Plenty of coverage. It never stops here on Sundays with CHGO. Briggs and Brown are coming up.
Let's go, Bears. Let's baby.
Go. I'll see you from London. Bye.
London, baby.
See you, Pizzatola.
We all silly like the mayor.